Welcome back, America, to your Caribou Data Science channel, and a special welcome back to the 5 people who watched the video yesterday. I appreciate every single one of those 5 views, and I especially appreciate the 3 younger folks who watched the video yesterday. Okay, but before we get started, of course, you know the drill, right? Subscribe to the channel. Click on the. I can't emphasize how important it is to click on that like button, and third, click on the share button. Share the video on Facebook and Twitter, and also in emails and text messages. Also, a couple other things. If you look in the description below the video, you can see 2 links. The first link is to my 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time uh, Twitch stream, Dave's Data Analytic on Twitch. Data analytics is all about R programming and data analytics. So if you're interested in R programming or data analytics, by all means, join me at 8 p.m. this evening, Eastern Daylight Time. Secondly, I need your help getting the Twitter feed up and running. If you click on the second link, that's a link to my Twitter account. I'd appreciate it if you would follow me on Twitter today, okay? So let's just get on with the show and see exactly what's happening here. I actually just changed hopefully change that plot type from bars to a line plot and see how that looks. Oops. Cases by year. Okay, this one didn't work quite right, did it? Okay, let's try this one more time. Oops. Let's stop and think about this for a moment. Okay, let's come back down here. Okay, these are good. Okay, one more time. This should do it. Okay, now one of the curious things about the way the America report, the way cases, America's reporting COVID-19 cases and death is that they're reporting the total number of cases from the very first case in January 2020 and the very first death at the very end of February in 2020. Now, what's unusual about that is when it comes to other diseases like cancer and heart disease, they're only counted 1 year at a time. Okay, so what that means is every January 1st, cancer and heart disease deaths is reset to zero, but that's not true with COVID-19. It goes from the very first case and the very first death. Okay, which serves to remind us of how bad off we really are. Okay, Currently, U.S. has had 44.5 million cases, 716,671 deaths. If we look at the current year's numbers, you can see this long declining pattern down to July. Then in July, begin to see an increase. Now the last few days, couple weeks, cases are beginning to decline again, which is kind of interesting. Okay, the question is how many of these people here were vaccinated? If we look at deaths for the year, there's pretty much the same pattern, a long declining trend. Although, by the way, we do know that we know for a fact that the numbers for the first quarter of 2020 are overstated by close to 4,000, and we know that because it's because in February the governor's office came out and said, "Oops, we undercounted deaths by close to 4,000 in the fourth quarter of 2020." And the governor's office solution to the problem was to add those missing numbers onto February 11th, 12th, and 13th. So that means wherever the February numbers are, they're overstated by 4,000 over a 3-day period. Okay, but nonetheless, a spike in here. How many of these people are vaccinated? Now we can take a look at the yearly numbers. Okay, 2021 cases have passed 2020 cases. Uh, okay, but the question is how many of these people were vaccinated? Deaths, unfortunately, have also passed 2020 deaths. But again, the question is how many of these people were vaccinated? Now, if we compare the numbers from July to July, it's almost a mirror. See what I'm saying? From July onward, cases increased through the end of the year. Then from January to July, the cases decreased. And then of course they went back up in July. I mean, it looks like this virus is better at keeping time than I am. But anyway, same thing with deaths. Last half saw an increase in deaths. The first half of 21 saw a decrease in deaths. Okay, this isn't what we're looking for either. Okay, this is quarter. What I can tell you in both cases is that the third quarter of 2021 was the third highest case in deaths for any quarter reported so far. Remind me to fix that tomorrow. Now, here we can see the daily numbers again. The big spike up here. And you can see the spike back over here on September the 7th at 277,028 cases. But on October the 11th, that number fallen down to 116,202 cases per day, with a daily average of 93,428 cases per day. If we come over here, we look at weekly cases. You can see the big spike up beginning in the first part of July. It's now been declining for 4 or 5 weeks, but the question, inquiring minds still want to go, how many of these people were vaccinated who died from who got COVID-19? What about deaths? How many of these people who died from COVID-19 were vaccinated? You can see an increasing pattern here, followed by a new declining pattern there. Now, if we take a look at cases here, you'll see that, for U.S., the COVID-19 cases 1, 2, 3, 4th and August, September, the 4th and 5th most cases so far for any months. You can see that, the good news is that August, September were below these numbers here, okay? And what we got here is, this is the number of cases per 100,000 people. Right now, that's about 20, for every 100,000 people, about 25 have COVID-19. Now, what about the people who died for 100,000? Well, if you come over here, you can see that currently, for every 100,000 people, 1/2 of a person is dying from COVID-19. Okay, that's a pretty low mortality rate. 1/2 person per, even if it's 1 person per 100,000, that'd still be pretty doggone low mortality rate, wouldn't it? Okay. And then you can see this number over here also. You can see this increase right here. Remember all the squawk about flattening the curves back in the spring? Well, guess what? That didn't happen. We never had a time when COVID-19 case or deaths was not increasing. It may have slowed down, but it certainly was not increasing. Okay. Now, let me leave you with one other little detail here today. Okay. This has to do with the question of which is more deadly, the Spanish flu or COVID-19. Well, as a percentage, let's take a look here. If we accept the number of 675,000 people died from the Spanish flu, we had a population of 105 million. That means 0.64% of the people, the population died from Spanish flu. Okay, 6.4%, not 6.4%, 0.64%. And what about deaths? Well, with the population 329 plus million, 700,000 plus deaths, that comes to 0.21% of the population. 2/10 of the population versus 6/10 of the population. So that means that as a percentage of the population, the Spanish flu killed 3 times as many people. Now, if 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 the Spanish flu had killed the same percentage of people that the COVID-19 has, 0.21, that'd have been only 223,362 people would have died of the Spanish flu. But if the same number of people died of COVID-19, as the same percentage of the population died of COVID-19 that died of the Spanish flu, that we'd have 2.1 million COVID-19 deaths in the U.S. today. Okay, and you can see the relationship here: the Spanish flu as part of the population and the COVID-19. I mean, it's not even the two aren't even close. Okay, Spanish flu, COVID-19. This is the proportion. Okay. This, yeah, this is the number who would have died if if the death mortality rate was the same with COVID-19 as it was with the Spanish flu. This is what we'd have right there. If the percentage of population have died from COVID-19 in the U.S. have died of Spanish flu, this would be clear down here. And again, okay, so that's just one little thing to kind of keep you in mind here. Okay, so anyway, thanks so much for your time, America. We'll catch you tomorrow with an updated report. Of course, as always, subscribe. Very, very important. Click the like button. And third, click on the share button. Share the video on Facebook and Twitter. And if you're interested in our programming and data analytics, join me tonight, 8 p.m., Dave's Data Analytics channel on Twitch. There's a link to it in the description below. Also, I'd appreciate if you click on my Twitter link in the description below. Follow me on Twitter today. Thank you so much for your time, America. We'll see you tomorrow with an updated report.